Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are excited to have our friend Ciara Adams joining us again. She's the owner and creative director and egg guardian at the Unity Studio, which is the home of Harmonic Egg in Toronto. And people might say, what's that? Well, you're going to learn, you're going to see. We're going to find out all the amazing things that the studio itself can help you with. I know you mentioned it's a high vibrational venue, self-growth, performance, celebration, and this egg. We have to talk more about this Energy Healing Wellness Center. How are you?
I am great. It's great to be back here with you, Jill.
Well, great to see you. And those of you that are just on the podcast, not on the Zoomcast, you don't see, but she's standing right in front of it.
Yeah, I thought today I would come prepared and I would actually set myself up in front of our ellipse. So we have two ellipses at the Unity Studio, and that is the newest design of the harmonic egg. And I think when you can see it, like you said, seeing is believing, right? So when you sort of see what it is, you get a little bit better of an idea of what is this and what will I be doing when I'm at the Unity Studio. So I
Yeah.
wanted to, yeah, well, I thought I'd take some time today to focus on that so people could really understand, what is a harmonic egg? That's one of the things that it's a very new energy healing modality. As we said last week or last time we were together, we're the very first harmonic egg center in Toronto. And being the flagship center, it's sort of up to us to let everyone know exactly what is this and what can it do. So the session, when you come in, you can see behind me that it's in egg shape. So we have this beautiful dodecahedron. So the inside, there's this beautiful walnut, which is sourced from Japan. And inside, it's this beautiful acoustic chamber. It's set up as a dodecahedron, and it uses Tesla mathematics inside, as well as sacred geometry to create even the capsule. So if you go inside of the egg without anything else, without any music or any lights, the first thing you'll notice is that it sounds like you're walking into a great concert hall. So if you think of, Carnegie Hall or something like that, the acoustics are really magnificent and your voice shifts and you can sort of hear the surround sound. So that in itself is one beautiful thing. And that's going to support when people are listening to their music. And then also you have two different colors of light therapy. And as we know, light is frequency. So the frequency of the light is determined when you speak with your egg guardian. So one of the other aspects of coming into the Unity Studio and doing the harmonic egg is you're actually going to be greeted by somebody who's well trained in understanding energy therapy, light therapy, how the lights and the frequency and the music all work together. And so we take people through, a really special and very what I would say high vibrational and loving intake where we just get to sit with them. We let them tell us their story. How have they arrived here? Whether it be through trauma, through stress. Usually people have some area of their life that's really challenging them and it's really causing them a lot of stress. I mean, that's the norm for all of us, right? We're all living in the same world. So we just take the time to listen. And our intake form is quite long, as is for all harmonic egg wellness centers, because we're actually asking you questions about, your past. We're asking questions about where did you grow up? Were you around any major pollutant sites in the world? There's a lot of places where areas in the United States, Canada, all over the place where there were some factories in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, things that would have contributed to maybe having heavy metals in the body or having other contributing factors. Have you ever had Lyme disease? Have you ever been diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder? Because all of these things will factor into how we will work with the client and what we will do in order to support them in really helping to heal their body and heal themselves. And then we also ask questions like, how is your home life? Are you in a marriage? Are you single? Do you have a partnership? How is that? And it's all confidential. So people can share things with us confidentially so that we know, if someone has 4 children, all under the age 10, they're going to be living a pretty stressed life.
Oh, yeah.
right? Even if they've got it all sorted out, like even to take time for themselves is a great thing and a great feat. So all of those kinds of questions, how do you typically respond to things in your life? Do they make you feel panicked? Or are you able to deal with things quite a challenging situation and still hold a sort of vibration of love and peace within yourself? Like all of these are key questions that we sort of ask when we're taking someone in and we're having a client intake. And then after we've really spent most of our intake listening and really just hearing someone, which is something that not many of us have a chance to even have happen to us in our daily lives these days, then we will typically either suggest like everyone just starts and tries the egg for the first time. And as I mentioned last time, it's always going to be an autonomic nervous system reset. So in other words, the very first time you're in the egg, what we're doing is we're really deeply working with the vagus nerve. We're allowing the vagus nerve to fully relax. We're bringing the body back into what's called homeostasis. Homeostasis is when your parasympathetic nervous system
Okay.
and your sympathetic nervous system come into complete balance. So we're talking everything that your body does without you thinking, breathing, heartbeat, your response, your fight or
Hmm.
flight, rest and digest, and then your sympathetic nervous system, which is actually ouch, the things that the nervous system is doing, taking in all of that information. So that will come to homeostasis, which allows your molecular structure of your cells to actually go to a place where they can heal. So, what we are really doing is bringing that body into a very deep meditative state, letting the energy and the cellular structure completely relax. And then the egg will start to influence and start to go to and work with what area of the body that really needs the underlying support. And what's interesting about that is, very often we all think, oh, I know this is happening, oh, this is bugging me, oh, that's the thing. But sometimes it's not what you think it is. Sometimes it might be that might be what you're feeling or you're thinking, and but very often there may be something that's much more deep, much more ingrained, much more uh, from a longer time ago, perhaps in your life, that is causing something to happen in the body. And
Okay.
what's great about the harmonic egg, and I love this aspect of it, is because we're working with sound and light and energy therapy and frequency. When you're in the egg and the frequencies in the egg will actually automatically go into the body, go into the nervous system, and they will target the areas that actually need cellular support. So even if we think something and we've, decided something, we still set our intention for going in. The egg will actually reveal and will
Oh.
actually go to the area that the body needs support in a sort of what I would call magical way, because we're working with life force energy here, which is the free energy that Tesla discovered back in the day, that we all have surrounding us. It's what we are interacting with all the time. It's why when you go into a room, Jill, if you've ever gone into a room and you're like, ooh, something just happened in this room. I don't know what it was, but there is
Hmm.
a certain vibration, right? We all have that. That's our intuition. That's literally because the frequency of the room has been shifted by whatever happened previously between the two or more conscious beings who are in the room who are emanating their vibration. So if you just come in, let's say you're a high vibration, you're in your joy, you're having a great day, you walk into your colleague's office and they've just been told, and the boss is there and they've just been told they're being let go or whatever that conversation is, and you can go in and you can feel the energy. We all have that ability. So there is a lot of energy in the universe, on the planet, that we are always within. We're in a sort of energetic soup.
Yeah.
Air has a lot more going on than we have traditionally in traditional science, though there's a lot of other new science to support this, than we've traditionally thought. And of course, this all
Wow.
started with Einstein and the quantum physics and understanding. That's what kind of, we get into quantum entanglement, we get into starting to understand the molecular structure of all things and that everything is energy. So anyway, back to the egg. It has that kind of, innate intelligence, which is really fantastic. And when you go in, as you can see, it's this beautiful chair. This is what we call an anti-gravity chair. So it goes back all the way. And Jill, you seem like someone who would probably want to go back all the way.
All the way. Yes.
And you have that kind of spirit to you. But people can decide. Like some people really only feel comfortable, if you're working with vertigo and stuff, you don't want to be going back all the way.
Yeah.
You want to just see, where am I comfortable? If you're dealing with, we do work with a lot of clients among all of our harmonic egg centers who are
Hmm.
dealing with quite severe cancer diagnoses, and they're going through a lot of allopathic treatments. And really, that can really bring up things like with my son as well. Like he had a lot of nausea, so he's not going to want to go, back fully. But you just get into a very comfortable position. The legs also go up, so you are actually, really as calm as can be, feeling as relaxed as you can. And as soon as you go in, you feel the shape of the dodecahedron, the shape of the acoustic structure, put you all into a relaxed state before anything else even happens. And of course, we have the two different colors of lights, which
Hmm.
stay as they are, and the frequency
Okay.
of those lights will be working on different aspects of the body.
Ooh.
And then we play our music, which I spoke to a little
Ah.
bit last week. Yeah. So the music is beautiful. It's remarkable with great composers, really phenomenal people like Annie Williams, Yuval Ron, and some very new and up and coming sound healing composers. And we're seeing this everywhere. We're seeing the science reflect back to us the impact and power of sound healing, and how it can really shift our molecular structure to really bring us into healing and really transform
Wow.
so many things. So yeah, it's a really enjoyable experience. And the other great benefit to it is that when you're within the egg,
Hmm.
there's no Wi-Fi. There's no need for,
Ah.
anything digital to operate the egg. So you're actually protected. There's no EMFs in there. You actually get a little EMF break while you're in the egg as well. Um,
Hmm.
and we are so used to walking around with all of that, that it can be really difficult. And what we also love is that Gail Lynn, the inventor, has been able to come up with a
Ah.
structured and repeatable system where we can really all know that with each client that comes in, and we get such great feedback from clients. With each client that comes in, you are getting a very consistent kind of energy healing, and it is really in the family of so many other self-care things.
Yeah.
And there's so many beautiful things out there now. We have wonderful infrared saunas, we have cold plunges, we have meditation classes, we have sound healing, all of that. People are doing Reiki. All of those things are also very supportive of a self-care routine. What I love about the harmonic egg is it's relatable and in the same family, but it's its own unique experience, and it's doing its own unique thing. And it's very impactful. We've had such great client testimonials. We've had such great results for
Yeah.
people. And it's been around now long enough that we've really been able to see and prove time and time again that it really is transforming people's lives. And, I'm one to talk. It's done that for me in my own way. So, yeah, I think everyone's got to come on down and try it.
Well, let me ask you how we can contact you. We got to remind everyone. I don't know if you even mentioned that off the top yet. What's the website?
Yes, exactly. So the website is www.theunitystudio.com. And if you go to the website, you can see everything you want. You can go over to the Harmonic Egg page to get all the information. And as I mentioned to you before, we also have a blog on there, and the blog takes you more deeply into information about the Harmonic Egg. And if you want to book an appointment, there's buttons all over the website. You can directly book an appointment. You can buy a gift card straight off the website as well. But also, you can contact us at info@theunitystudio.com, and we're here to help you. We can answer any questions that you might have. And we also, of course, have a phone line, which is 437-661-6410. So that's 437-661-6410. Feel free to call. And if someone's in with a client, and just leave a message and we'll get back to you. So there's lots of ways you can come visit us, and lots of ways in which you can really enjoy some time in the harmonic egg.
Yay, beautiful. I love it. I love it. This is exciting. And I get to see it all, you know. So, we're talking today more about why sound, light, frequency, energy healing, really is the way of the future, right? I mean, just a little bit of your background, because people may not know if they missed the last podcast, just how you discovered the egg. Could you just share that story before we continue?
Yeah, of course. I'm actually the kind of person, and I'm going to start with this because I think it's important. I'm the kind of person who tries to look at all aspects of life in the most positive way. And I have gone through a extremely difficult time, what I would call, many people refer to as a dark night of the soul, where my oldest child was diagnosed with a terminal and very aggressive brain tumor at the age of
Mm.
a month before his seventh birthday. I'm a lifelong musician. I am a lifelong performer and singer. I'm a trained opera singer. I've been using my voice and sound my entire life. I've been teaching private voice lessons and group voice lessons and all sorts of things in that realm for about over 20 years now. So I'm very much part of the music community. But in addition to that, I've been studying frequency, sound healing, and how frequency is really what the universe and what planet Earth and everything is made up of. And this, again, is just quantum science, and it's becoming a lot more easy to understand. So I had done all that work. I had been really focusing in on sound healing for an album I was working on. And when my child was diagnosed, it was during COVID. So in the hospital system, only one parent could go in at a time. So really, both my husband at the time and I, we had to really drop everything to take care of our son 24/7. We also had a
Ah,
5-year-old. And I had heard of the harmonic egg, and it was something that I was going to try. And I was really interested in for myself as a musician, for creativity, and for myself, just for my self care, for connecting more to my own health and also my own spiritual practice. And I suddenly realized, okay, we need this for Oshin, the name of my son. And so we started working with Harmonic Egg Canada, and Oshin was receiving treatment in the Harmonic Egg while he was also receiving treatment at Princess Margaret here in Toronto
ah,
for radiation, yeah, radiation therapy. And the Harmonic Egg was able to keep his nervous system and his body, even with a tumor in his brainstem,
mm,
it was able to keep his nervous system as relaxed as he really could be with that condition. He was able to eat always when he came out of the egg. Those were the best sleeps he had. That was the least nausea he had for, as after he was finished with that. And then when we got to the end of Oshin's life and we realized that we needed to ramp it up a little bit because a lot of children with this condition can have
yeah.
really quite prolonged and very, very difficult
Mm.
passings. I really wanted to do everything I could to avoid that. But as well for me, I also wanted to prepare his body, his soul, his spirit for his leaving, the planet and what I refer to as going home, because I feel like that's home. We all come here to take on whomever we are in this life and experience what we have to experience to grow, to have our soul grow through all of our adversity and all the other things that we face. And then we go home to where we really are, who we really are. That's my personal philosophy and perspective. And I believe when children come in, they're almost angelic in their form in terms of how they can transfer, so much love and open up so much love and allow so many people to really come from their heart and understand their life in a new way. And that was Oshin all the way. And in the end of his life, Harmonic Egg Canada, which is run by Paige Clark, she's a beautiful woman and composer and musician as well. She opened up the center, literally gave our family the key, and we
Wow.
would go in, and we had a very special protocol that Gail Lynn put us on, and we were doing 4 days on, 3 days off. I was going in with Oshin, and
Mm.
it really did save us for the whole last 6 weeks of his life. And it allowed us to have
Mm.
a beautiful, loving, heartfelt passing at our house, surrounded by loved ones, the best possible way it could be for the worst possible situation that anybody could ever go through. But
Oh,
also, what happened to me in
but
that
it's
time was,
beautiful. It's a beautiful
yeah,
experience. I was with my mom with her passing, and as a child, I can only imagine, but it's still it's beautiful.
it
It's
is,
just
right,
I got
Jill?
goosebumps, and I could,
Yes.
as mom, oh my goodness,
It's a huge experience. I actually was with my mom as well when she passed, and that I thought that was enough, like
yeah.
but It is, and I'd say the veil is thin. There's something magical about being open in those situations and having those experiences. And I feel like the world is actually shifting. We're shifting to a place where we're not afraid of those things, where we're
Mm-hmm.
embracing them, we're loving them, we're taking them back and owning them and knowing and seeing how much they affect us in a positive way. And and so that was just the beginning point for me. And for me in the egg with Oshin, the best way I can describe it is I started vibrating differently. My frequency rose exponentially. And then I could no longer see what was not working in my life. And very easily my life completely unraveled, but not in a impossible way, in a way that was the best possible way for me to be able to move through it, rebuild it. And then the coming together
Yeah.
of the Unity Studio, it's my legacy project. It is our logo is a deer, and my son's name Oshin was little deer, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
he's here with us. We name our eggs, as I mentioned last time. This egg here is actually named after my mother Emma. Her art is all over the space. The egg downstairs is named after Oshin. We made sure that one was accessible because Oshin
Mm.
was in a wheelchair for the last
Yeah.
9 months of his life. And, we realized how ableist our society actually is. So I wanted to make sure that we can bring in clients and especially children who are able to come into the egg and have the experience. And by the way, Jill, I'll mention this too. It's completely safe for women who are pregnant, and in fact can be a beautiful thing to do for the mother to make sure that her nervous
Yep.
system is relaxed and that she is taking care of herself. It's a beautiful thing for mother baby to do. We have children and moms go in together until about the age of 6. And then after that, the kids get a little bigger, depending on the size of your child, and children go in on their own. I had 5 kids come this weekend, and it was an
Ah.
amazing story. So this family is incredible. Their mother's so wise, and she asked them because she's shown them a bunch of different energy healing modalities around the city, and she said to them, "What would you guys like to do if we do one more thing together now, or for
Mm-hmm.
this next one we're going to do something we've done?" And they all said, harmonic egg," and they all came. And we're talking, her youngest that
Ah.
came is 6. And he got out of the egg and she said, "How was it?" He said, "I love it, mommy. I want to come again and again and again and again," which for a child of 6, like you're like, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing,
That is amazing. Oh
It's
my goodness.
absolutely phenomenal. We have children's protocols, and the egg, which I haven't even mentioned, has a phenomenal impact on beings, people with autism, children with autism, adults with autism. Very often, people with autism feel within the egg, they're actually in like a comfort zone. It feels like where they're always searching for, they're always trying to move towards. And children who have used the egg for autism, our clients have told us, we have those kinds of
Yeah.
experiences where for the first time in their life, they're able to say, "I love you, mom. I love you,
Oh,
dad."
my heart
Like,
is. Ah.
it's really, this is what life's all about. So I'm happy this is what I do. And again, it's the unitystudio.com, and the website is the unitystudio.com, info at the unitystudio.com. It's easy to get us. Our number is 437-661-6410. And we would love for you to come and try this phenomenal new healing modality. Trust me, you can go on harmonicegg.com and look at client testimonials. I think it's actually, that's harmoniceggtestimonials.com. So they've set up a whole website just for testimonials. And you can even search ailments and get client testimonials, because that's
I love it.
how we're just spreading the word for the impact of what it can do. And we're just at the beginning here. So I'm so excited for what the future is going to bring.
Oh, thank you so much. Really, Ciara, it's exciting. Transformation from within. She's here joining us live today, and hopefully we'll be back. I know we have next week. We're going to do the overall concept of the studio, right?
Yeah,
And
we've got a couple weeks and I'll be back, I think. So
perfect.
yeah,
Well, looking
yeah.
forward to it. And thank you again for being here, sharing your story, sharing the egg with us, showing us, seeing is
Yes,
believing.
yes,
Again, take a look at the
exactly.
unitystudio.com, and we'll be in touch soon. Have a great day. Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.